All right, I'm not going into this completely blind. I did a little homework ahead of time. One thing you absolutely need is the service manual for your motor. I was able to find mine online. There's actually a lot of sites you can buy them from. I just happened to find a site that had them for free, so I got the manual for this. I'll probably, if I can find the link to it, I'll just put it down in the description if you want to check out the site where I found that. And also, watch a lot of other people doing videos on this. Danger Marine, he's out of Australia. He has a really good playlist doing a Evinrude 150. He did a complete teardown rebuild. So that really helped watching him do that. Even though this is a Mercury motor, a lot of the same stuff applies. The service manual also tells you all the specialty tools and lubricants and stuff you need, and the part numbers and everything, so that's pretty awesome too. So those parts can be kind of hard to find though. So I'll do my best to get all that stuff. Now to pull the power head off, I know there's a bunch of bolts around here. We got this shroud here. I don't know if that comes off or how we get to it, so I'm going to go in, reference the service manual. I was going to print it out, but it's like 854 pages, I think. So I just download it to a tablet and scroll on there and watch it. It's in the house right now. I'm going to go in there and see which bolts I need to pull off for the power head, and we'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Consulted the service manual. First thing we do is remove this shroud right here all the way around. And then I think it said there's about 5 bolts around each side that you got to take off to pull off the power head. So all the bolts are, under here, so we got to get rid of this plastic piece here. And right up front there's one bolt there, and we go around to the back. On the back side there's another bolt right there. The water line going in, kind of a big hose right down there. That also has to get disconnected. So it's attached to this cowling. And this tilt trim switch right here. Just have to unhook the wires for that, and then this should be able to come off. All right, these bolts are kind of hard to get at, so I got some flexible shafts on here to get down in there. There it comes. All right, there's one bolt. All right, there's the other one. See, it's kind of tight in there. So it helps get those flexible shafts there. You can do that. There it is. That just holds this piece on too. So you see, we're going to start racking up a lot of bolts and nuts and all that stuff. And what I did is I took my old table here, put a fresh piece of cardboard on it. All I'm going to do is get a bunch of those Ziploc bags that you can write on and organize all the bolts in bags and then label what they are. And for the ones I can't, I'll just put on here, and I can even write on the cardboard what it was. But for the most part, I'm going to try to just put all the bolts back where I got them. So when I take off a piece, just put it right back if I can. If I can't, then I'll put it in Ziploc bags and label them and put them on here. All right, took the 2 bolts out. Now if you go under here, right there, I just took one out from there to underneath. Now it seems to be splitting apart a little better. I'm not sure if there's any more. I'm going to try to take this off. There might be another bolt. We'll keep looking. I don't want to break it. There still seems to be something in the back here holding it. Oh, there's one. Yep, there's one more screw way down in the bottom. Right down there. Hopefully that's the last one. There it goes. They're all the same size, so that's good. I have to keep track of that. Oh, there they're at. One side's off. All right, now I gotta find a place to put all this stuff. All right, yeah, that opens up a lot. Now you can see where the bolts and stuff are. All right, you can see here's where the cowling sticks on. They got a washer there, so let's not lose those. Here's the front one. They just kind of go over the top of that. Right here, so where your telltale comes out, big water line, you can flush it through this little hose here. We just got to take either that clamp or this clamp off. Or is this, actually this, okay. Never mind, that comes all the way out, so. Yeah, don't have to worry about that. We'll have to disconnect this trim switch here so that does go with the side. See, I think it. All right, instead of taking the switch out of the side, I'm just gonna unhook these two leads. Got a blue to double blue and green to a double green. Another thing I'm doing is by videoing this whole thing, if I get stuck and can't figure out how it goes back together, I just go back and see how I took it apart, and that should be a good reminder of what I need to do. All right, I think just, okay, the front just pulling off. You can just pull it. Oh yeah, that's how you do it. There, see a little trim switch just stays right on here. There is a little bit of oil and grease or whatever in here, so maybe that's a sign of something. All right, now we'll pull the water hose off there. There we go. Now we need to unbolt the power head. If we look under here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I think there's 5 on each side. We'll get those unscrewed and then we'll try to lift it off. All right, I'll start with the easier bolts first. Those that are easy to get anyway. Oh, don't lose that. All right, now each one of these is probably gonna need a different way of getting at it. This one, can't quite get to that one. That one's right in the way of the steering mechanism. These are slid up in there. What is it, a size 14 millimeter. Let's see if I have a ratcheting wrench that'll get in there. All right, what you need here is these ratcheting wrenches. And I only have standard sizes, so I may have to go do a little shop in. But let's see if I can't get a 9/16 or something to work. See if they'll even fit. Oh boy. Yeah, 9/16 looks like it'll work. Can't quite get the ratcheting end on there though. Unratchet end, get in there. No. How about if we go up on this top one up here? Darn it, they make it too small. These ratcheting wrenches won't, they're too thick around to get into there. Come on. This one. Just, oh, it's going to take a while. All right, and that front one was just the nut only, no washers, no nothing. I thought it might be a bolt head, but it's just, yeah, this is the washer. So. I'm just wondering how they, this one here made it almost impossible. It's worked perfect if they had made just enough space for this ratchet wrench to get in there. All right, this one here has a washer and a nut on it. All right, this wasn't too bad. Like I said, if somebody did have this apart, it's probably why these bolts are coming out so easily. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side. Let's go to the other side. Well, if that's the 5th one, the nut's already off it. Look. Huh, yeah. Yeah, the 5th one on this side has no nut on it. That just proves that somebody did have this apart earlier. I know sometimes these power heads get stuck on here and people have a hard time prying them apart. I said I'm kind of hoping it's been taken off recently so it's not stuck on itself. That was 1, 2, 3. Number 4. All right, now number 5 was already out, so I believe that's all the bolts that are going to hold this power head on. We already have the hook on it up here. Time to pull up the engine hoist again and see if we can't separate these two. All right, it's connected up. Let's pump it up and see if it comes apart. Oh yeah, it's starting to separate. It's got the whole lift off the ground right now, so let's see. It's gotta... It's coming off kind of at an angle, so I don't know if that's preventing it. Kind of pry it up from the back at the same time. It might, there it goes. Yeah, it doesn't like going off at an angle. I don't want to bend any of those studs. Get a bigger pry bar under there. There we go. Just lost part of the gasket, that's fine. Try not to scar up any of the underneath there. Those two longer bolts are giving me trouble. All right, it's definitely a process where it's got to come straight up. If I can move this in more to get it more at an angle. All right, get a bigger pry bar yet. And now's also a good time to check if there's any remaining things attached, and I do see the shifter lever, I think it is. Right here needs to come off. All right, so back where the throttle cables were attached, got this shift lever. I think that's what it is anyway. And looks like we can take a screw out right there, or a nut off of that, and that should just release the whole thing. There's a spring under there, so got careful you don't lose a spring when you're doing this. And there it is. I'm going to put all this back on it so I remember where it goes. I just put a block one under there with a pry bar. Lift it up. Those long bolts really want to bend, so you gotta keep an eye on those things. There, nice and straight again. Oh, come on. All right, I think we're both free. We are free! Yeah! Thought that was going to be the toughest part. Came out pretty good. I don't think I bent any of the bolts, so I think we're good there. All right, now for the part, I need to put it on an engine stand, but you need a specialty part, a Mercury engine stand thing where it goes up where the drive shaft is. I think it just shoves into there. I need to order one of those, and those are hard to find. They're like $135, and it's going to take a couple weeks to get here, I think. So I guess we're going to wait on that. Let's take a look at the top here, just see what it looks like. Power head off. Just looking, these are the exhaust ports, I believe. There's your drive shaft. So we need a thing that looks like this that mounts to an engine stand. All the gaskets. So I think this is the shift lever. Steer it from. All right, looking up underneath it again. I think, yeah, you can get that stand that goes into there, and then you can put it on the stand. There's the block what I was using. And just looking if there's any other major damage under here. I don't really see anything.